Hello, fellow title hunters. Now, today we're going to be talking about 10 game predictions for Summer Game Fest. Jeff Keighley's tribute to that old video game conference, E3. Nope, doesn't ring a bell either. Every summer, in place of E3, we now get a new massive showcase to announce new games from all across the gaming sphere. From the indie devs to the third-party publishers, Ubisoft and EA, to console manufacturers in Xbox and Sony. You'll notice a significant lack of Nintendo on this list, mainly because they never turn up to Summer Game Fest. They just decide to live in their own little bubble. Now just watch this space though, guaranteed this will be the one year that they do turn up now and I look like a complete mug. Xbox already has a showcase announced to follow, but we will stick with the main opening ceremony generally throughout this list. That being said, we're going to start with an easy one. Xbox have already announced a separate Outer Worlds 2 Direct for after their own showcase, so I wouldn't be surprised if, based on previous years, we see a light trailer about it in the main show, showcasing maybe some light plot and gameplay elements before the inevitably tune in for the Xbox Showcase and Outer Worlds Direct to learn more about the upcoming game. Effectively, this is their way to try and drag in the more casual viewer. I was a massive fan of the Outer Worlds, I really was, so I'm actually kind of hyped about this. And Obsidian are such a good developer, so I'm downright excited here. Now for the juicier parts, the speculation, the pure, unbridled copium. And I'm going to start with Persona 4 Reloaded Festival Golden Week. God knows. I went into depth about this during another video, but while it was a 3-month wait from a similar leak for Persona 3 Reload, which would fall slightly short, only around 2.5 months in this case, but I would say Game Fest would be a great location to show off the remake. Well, I imagine this one might get an extended look at an Xbox conference due to their kind of publishing deal they've got on at the moment, or maybe it'll skip out the main section entirely for it. But I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on what their deal is. Over the Summer Game Fest week, though, we are going to see it. It's either going to be here in the main showcase, which I'd imagine, or it's going to be at the Xbox showcase. Well, I'd rather some news about Persona 6 instead. I have to admit that I'll just take any kind of Persona news, but I think they've run out of Persona spin-offs around Persona 5 now. Although, maybe they won't say anything about Persona, as Persona X, the gacha game, is just about to launch worldwide. Prepare your wallets, it's time to be financially irresponsible. Of course, we have our fingers crossed it comes with golden content already baked in, and, yeah, you know, one can dream. I have a bad feeling that it won't be the case, though. Now for a slightly obvious one. Yes, you guessed it. It wouldn't be a Jeff Keighley event if we didn't get a chance to see live on stage the most one-sided best friendship between two leading game figures you can find.
Oh, wait. Huh? There's Kojima, look. Ooh. Did you know that Jeff Keighley's friends with him?
Yeah, but does Kojima know that?
Of course. It's Kojima's next game, Death Stranding 2. Likely some wacky way of showing off Death Stranding 2 as well, and God knows what they have in store for us there. But it's due out on the 26th of June, so less than a month after the event. It could be aided by having Norman Reedus during the event, even just as an extra presenter. Now, if it appears it's going to be a final trailer, well, probably hinting at some plot elements and even some gameplay additions. Although I doubt we're going to learn anything too much about it, because, well, Kojima likes to just keep us guessing, I think. Or he has a habit of making my brain go brrr. One of the longest games ever in development. In fact, as of now, it holds the record of nearly 18 years in development. Through these years, it has been surrounded by cancellation rumors and even changed directors due to the original director's death. Yes, it's Beyond Good and Evil 2, a remake of the first one launched last year, and added in a new narrative thread that apparently is going to link into the sequel. The fact that it just felt like it's always been in the wings and never quite making its way onto stage feels like Ubisoft either needed to commit to its existence or full on let it die at this point. It's just vaporware. And at this point, I just don't know what to expect, but I just hope that it happens at some point because people will be very, very happy. Now, in JRPG lands, I expect us to see at least one. And well, Dragon Quest XI came out 8 years ago. Dragon Quest XII was announced all the way back in 2021 for the series' 35th anniversary. And you could do the maths there. Next year is the 40th. And look, it has always felt particularly overshadowed, largely in the West, by Final Fantasy. And likely, the next Final Fantasy is at least a year away from even being shown off. So considering, as well as the tragic loss of Toyama last year, it would be great to see this out there on the main stage and see his iconic character designs up there once more, in some small way to honour him. And Summer Game Fest announced the Sandlands game, so it could fit here really well, or potentially a more curveball route. More Dragon Quest remakes! We've had the first 3 recently, why not 4? Or 5? Or God forbid, the one everyone asked for, Dragon Quest 9. No, that would be stupid. Why would we do what our consumers want? Forget I said anything. Forget I said it. Hello and welcome to Pure Unbridled Copium with Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, the missing link, the somehow weirdly connected spin-off to Kingdom Hearts 4, because, you know, it wasn't already complicated enough.
Do you understand?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't really understand.
But regardless, that's a nightmare in itself. With Missing Link now officially shutting down, they could show off some Kingdom Hearts 4 to help us forget about that fact. They have kind of put out some new screenshots to kind of show some things off, so it would be nice to see a more extended look in maybe a gameplay trailer, but, you know, God knows what we're seeing now. But admittingly, I will admit this, I still need to play Kingdom Hearts 3. But, you know, I'll get there. I've been busy. You try playing every single one of these games and not letting your brain explode. It would at least hide the fact that cancelling Missing Link, that they were so adamant was going to be connected. And if they do show it off, I'd like to see a lot more about what this new saga will entail, and some new worlds, returning characters. Oh. Maybe we can shift characters, give Kairi a squad, and Riku, have them all run off and do separate things, and maybe like a GTA 5 approach where they can pull out the world and you pull into the world. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm probably asking for too much, aren't I? A man could dream. Now, look, we can't get through any big gaming event without some form of remake. It's standard. The industry is swarming with them. It's inescapable. It's effectively free space on the bingo card these days. And considering the GTA 6 delay, I wouldn't be surprised if the Max Payne remake will be happily slotted in to fill the gap for this holiday season. Maybe it's already good to go. Remedy have said it's up to Rockstar when the trailer will drop, and they have just veered to full-time production on Control 2. So, I'm just saying, these could be done, and Rockstar might announce it here for this holiday season. Sam Lake is well loved across the Jeff Keighley expanded universe of gaming conventions. Yes, Sam, dance, Sam, do it! It makes me so happy. Quantic Dream, a name I'm sure most of us are familiar with, the accidental meme lords themselves.
Jason!
If you were to have told me that these guys would have a stab at the Star Wars IP, I'd have sent you to rehab myself, because there is no way you weren't on something heavily. But alas, here we are, and yes, they are working on a game in the universe. Star Wars Eclipse. It was announced all the way back in 2021, and we've not seen anything about it since. So it's likely that they've probably had around 7 years in development at this point, as Detroit Becoming Human came out in 2018, and I imagine they would have started work on it shortly after maybe a little bit of a break. And all I can find about it at the moment is it's set 200 years before The Phantom Menace, will have a diverse set of characters, and as standard, choices will matter, because that's just what Quantic Dream do. So I imagine the characters we're going to see are maybe a Jedi, some smugglers, maybe a droid. A Sith could be an interesting approach as well, maybe a Grey Jedi, I don't know. But it will be a part of the High Republic multimedia project. You confused? I know I am. This is how I discovered it was even a thing. Effectively, it's just mainly books and some audio and comics stuff. And now this game, and they're just all set in the High Republic era. I'm not entirely sure why it needed to be classed as a multimedia project, but, you know, Disney just like being different, don't they? Basically, I hope they show off some more plot or at least some characters, as it's been 4 years since we've had anything about the game. And I'd hope that they would have at least something to show. And look, what better place to see it than, you know, Game Fest? Well, maybe Star Wars Celebration, but, you know, don't question my logic. Ghosts of Yutoi, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, a game that was in and of itself a love letter to the films of Akira Kurosawa. And while yes, it had its issues, the world might have been gorgeous and visually appealing, but suffered from a major issue that plagues open world games to these days. That is being relatively devoid of things to do and therefore feeling rather empty. The developers have now promised that they will address that here, and of course, the combat flowed well, and the story was gripping and hard-hitting. So if they can match that once again, then it should be an incredible experience for all of us involved. I hope we get a little further glimpse into the game here, and with it being set in that northern territories of Japan, namely Hokkaido, which is visually breathtaking in real life. I just look forward to how they showcase it in this game. The Metal Gear Solid series might be adrift in the endless ocean of lost game series now, without a captain at the helm after the vicious mutiny that left Kojima ousted by Konami and what can only be described as a mobile-led disaster. Seriously, Konami? Seriously? Despite all of this, the game isn't adding anything new and is aiming to be as faithful as possible, so it's just likely to be mainly quality of life upgrades and some better graphics, which arguably is probably all it needs, and at least the Metal Gear games are still living on with the legacy around them, although I think Konami is still unsure on how to carry on with the franchise without Kojima's influence in general. Sure, the game will still be great though, but I think we can start to see that Kojima's influence is really missed at Konami now, particularly around this franchise. Now, a couple of bonus things for you. And something that's become standard in all of these showcases, an A-list actor appears on stage and reveals a new live-action TV show or film is coming soon. We do know an Elden Ring film is in development, which honestly I'm unsure of how that will work. Apparently a lot of people on my Twitch chat were convinced it's going to be a prequel, and I'm kind of thinking that's the only vibe they can go for. But I don't expect us to see anything about it at this stage. I think it's too early and the writing hasn't fully started. But that might be something we'll see at Game Awards later in the year. But honestly, I do expect us to see something here. Although, considering the choices we've seen over the last few years, it could be another deep cut like Twisted Metal, or something more mainstream like The Last of Us. But my guess is honestly as good as yours, because who knows what they're thinking over in these big budget TV production houses. But it's an easy spot for your bingo card. Also, we've got a few bonus mentions in games here. Now, all of these are kind of up in the air, but they would still be nice surprises to see. First up, Mass Effect 4. I feel like after Veilguard had that lukewarm reception, they're going to be very careful about how they show this one off. And maybe they're going to postpone showing anything until they're very confident in it. Next up, a new Tomb Raider game. We know it's in the works, but we also know apparently there's an Amazon TV show supposed to be in the work. So they could announce both. They could announce one or the other. They could help market each other. I don't know, but I feel like it's been several years. I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I would love to see it. I just hope it's another good one, to be honest. Finally, of my bonus mentions, we have a Splinter Cell remake. We know it's in the works. It's been in the works for nearly 4 years. Give or take, we think. So it'd be good to finally have it shown off properly. And Ubisoft need a W. I doubt it'll show up, but, you know, we'll find out. We'll also find out if Ubisoft ever get a W. Stranger things have happened. Well then, we have 10 games I expect us to see across Summer Game Fest. And while not technically making a bingo card, it's a halfway step to one. So if you like this video, remember to give it a like, share it out with a friend, and make sure to let me know down below if you agree with me, if you think any of these are going to be seen, or if you think there's a game or a series, or maybe a new IP from a company that I didn't even think of. But in the meantime, go check me out over on Twitch at @the_entitled_gamer, or follow me down by the links below, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye for now.